Welcome to FTBL Culture. It's your boy Culture Cams, and this is the final FTBL Culture of this season. I appreciate everyone that's been rocking with me this season, and let's see more to come next year. But there's been a big topic that I want to discuss. David De Gea. New contract on the table. Is it going to be signed? Is it not? Let's get into this episode. So, David De Gea, what can we say about this guy? He is like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. I think I know what side that I sit on, but hey, I don't know him as a person. I'm only here to speak about him as a football player. But first and foremost, the discussion that's been going on this week, or a discussion that I want to open up, is David De Gea a Manchester United legend? Because the rumours are saying that he is going to walk away from Man United after failing to agree a new contract because he doesn't want to lower his wages from 375k, which I think is the worst deal we've ever given out in the history of the club. But is he a Manchester United legend? Now, he has had some great moments. Let's be fair to him. He has had some great moments. He's also a Premier League winner with Man United. He's won everything with Man United that you can win. Well, he obviously hasn't won Champions League. So the stuff from the Super Cup and the Club World Cup, of course, he's not won. But he's won domestically and he's won the Europa League. And he has had some good seasons. Now, the first season that he came to Man United, it was a disaster. He was weak. He was slim. Everyone, I remember Charlie Adam, all these type of guys. When you get a corner, you're firing it in towards David De Gea. Put it on his head, pause, and let's see what really, really happens, you know? And a lot of the times, it was weak. You know, he'll flap at things he wouldn't catch. And it feels like that's what we're still saying in 2023. But I'll get into that. But when he first came, he was very weak and people were looking at him as a target. Then the next season came and he improved rapidly. Manchester United went on to go and win the Premier League. And from there, it got better and better for him. You know, Ferguson left, but on an individual basis, De Gea was seen as the guy that maybe is the one world-class player in the Man United team. You know, with all the mess that was going on around, you knew you had safe hands at the back. That was David De Gea. Shot-stopping wise, he was in his peak. He was probably one of the best shot-stoppers I've ever seen. So that's his flowers for me. Like, shot-stopping, reactions, he was that guy. And I would say from 12, 13 to probably about 17, 18, maybe that's about 5 seasons, he was a world-class goalkeeper. He was fantastic. He did what he needed to do. He had his deficiencies, but a lot of the times he was able to hide them and his strengths really shone. You know, Man United were always getting peppered. De Gea is there. And that shows, I believe he's won 4 Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year awards for Man United. And that's a record at the club. So that shows what he's done. But on the flip side, I do think since the 17-18 season, De Gea hasn't only just been a weaker than what he was before. I actually think he's been a poor goalkeeper. And I actually have a clip in the 18-19 season of me saying De Gea is overrated.
De Gea is overrated.
The fundamentals that a goalkeeper is meant to have: leadership, sweeping, distribution, command your area, and shot stopping. I believe in those 5 things, De Gea only has 1. If you want to be a top goalkeeper in 2023, I believe you need to have at least 4 of those type of things. In 2023, you got to have at least 4. I think De Gea had only 1. Leadership. I'm always questioned how you could be the longest serving Man United player, one of the only ones that have won the Premier League with the club, 12 years at the club, and you've never been a captain option. Never. No, they've never decided to put David De Gea as a captain. I believe he might have held the armband one time and it got stripped away straight away. He just doesn't radiate that leadership that the team can look at him and he can tell them, listen, calm down, this is what we're going to do. Because I feel he's too focused on what he needs to do. You need to improve. And we're talking about distribution. It's no debate that he is one of the worst distributors in the Premier League. With the ball at his feet, he's dreadful. He's shocking. He's terrible. You're looking at commanding his area, coming out and claiming crosses, the way you see Edison, the way you see Courtois, the way you see Ter Stegen, the way you see Alisson. Come and get these crosses and catch them. I don't think you see De Gea do that. He's not commanding his area. He punches at it weak. He flaps at it. It's not dominant. He doesn't dominate his area. And you look at the sweeper keeping. He's often stuck to his line. There's a nickname for him. The glued. The glued to his line. That is what David De Gea is. So in that respect, no, I don't think he has that either. So these are the major things that I've just mentioned that a goalkeeper needs to have that I think De Gea lacks in. And I think each season it's getting worse and worse. Big games often at fault. I can name some just this season. Sevilla, you're looking at the FA Cup final, and there's more that I can even name where De Gea has severely lacked. You look at against Arsenal with the Emil Smith-Rowe goal, the Mason Mount goal at Wembley. There's so many. And there's so many that he also gets away with. Now, the bigger question is he a Manchester United legend? Now, he's had real highs and he's had real lows. For me, David De Gea is not a Manchester United legend. Yes, he has the all-time clean sheet record, but he's also played like 100, 300 games more than Edwin van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel and these guys. And when I look at Edwin van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel, those are the ones mainly more from my era. Schmeichel was a little bit before, but van der Sar, I lived through it. And I've lived through Tim Howard, Roy Carroll, Talibi, Kushak. I've lived through these guys, right? So I know De Gea is better than them guys. But when it comes to Edwin van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel is arguably a top 5 signing that Alex Ferguson ever made. What an absolute goalkeeper he was. 92 Denmark World Euros as well. Unbelievable. Special goalkeeper. A generational goalkeeper. And you look at Edwin van der Sar. Man United lacked a goalkeeper from when Van der Sar and from when Peter Schmeichel left. Went through all these duds. And Van der Sar came and Manchester United became the best team in the world. Winning the Champions League. Clean sheet record. That backline that he formed with Rio, Vidic, Wes Brown, Evra. It was unbelievable. It was special. Edwin van der Sar was a special goalkeeper. And when I look at them two just alone, they won trophies. They had clean sheet records. They were dominant. They were the standard. They were the standard. And look, some people are going to say, well, it's not De Gea's fault he played for a poor team. But the decline is too much for me. He's been bad just as much as he's been good, in my opinion. If you're looking at the 12 years he's been at Man United, I think 6 of them have been bad. And I think 6 of them have been good. So it's really on a fence there. But Man United, the standards, when I look at the legends of this club, Rooney, Ronaldo, Rio, Vidic, Van der Sar, Schmeichel, Keane, Neville, I can go Brian Robson, Van Nistelrooy. You know, if you want to put Van Persie in there, even when I look at the names at this club, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, there's just levels to it. Now, people might say, well, everyone can be a legend. You can have entry-level legends. I would say he's maybe an icon at the club. You know, you'll be remembered. We'll remember De Gea, but he's not that guy. You know, when you look at some teams, the entry level for a legend is a lot different. Spurs, Gareth Bale's a legend at that club. You know, Chelsea, they have Zola. He's a legend at that club. And Zola was fantastic, by the way. That's no disrespect, but Zola, he's a legend at that club. You know, so some of the standards are different. A Zola would not be a legend at Manchester United. Not even a Gareth Bale would be a legend at Manchester United for what he did at Spurs. It wouldn't be a legend. You got to win things. You got to win the big things to be a legend at Man United consistently. And unfortunately, that's just not the case for him. Eric Cantona, look at the names that I'm saying. There's just a different level to it for Man United. So when I saw this debate, is he a legend? No, for me. You know, and a lot of people are angry about it, but I just think you can't have this many lows consistently, by the way, and be a Manchester United legend. And people are going to think, wow, he won the Golden Glove this season. But I massively think that was down to the defence. I always thought De Gea was a great shot stopper. I did sometimes think he gets a little bit too much credit for his saves. That's what he's paid to do. That's his job. You know what I mean? You save the ball. You are the last line of defence. Sometimes I used to think, you know, Man United might be having a decent game, 1-0 up, De Gea makes a late save, and they'll say, De Gea just saved Man United 3 points. I'm like, well, he just done his job. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So really and truly, I didn't really see it the same way the media did or some Man United fans. I appreciate what he's given to the club, 12 years of service. He did try and leave. Let's not forget in 2015, he did. If it wasn't for the fax machine, he would never have been this player. But it's funny how football works because Keylor Navas went on to be a 3-peat winning goalkeeper. I don't think they win a 3-peat with David De Gea in goal, in all honesty. And I think I can name about 30 to 40 potential players that are definitely in our history books ahead of David De Gea. So what does it take to be a legend? What's the criteria? Is it top 50? Is it top... What is it? You know? Dennis Law, Bobby Charlton, George Best, Duncan Edwards, all these names, man. I can even maybe go to 50. So if you're not in the top 50 or you're scraping top 50 for a club, are you really a legend? Or are you an icon? Are you a fan favorite? There's different levels, there's different names to this. But I just think legend, someone that you're forever going to be remembered and synonymous with this football club, Manchester United. I don't think De Gea is that. And that's just my verdict on it. But if he stays, I do think Manchester United and Ten Hag will be looking to get a new number one in regardless. And if he goes, thank you for your services, and we'll see what his future holds. Apparently Saudi Arabia are in after him. They'll pay him them wages. As I said, I think it's the worst contract we've ever handed out. Maybe tied with Alexis Sanchez, but at least Sanchez was a top player at the time. David De Gea's 375k for a goalkeeper. Ed Woodward, you will pay for your crimes. Letting a goalkeeper hold a club like Manchester United ransom is the worst thing that is, honestly, and I'm not somebody that's reactionary. Guys, I've got tweets from 1819. I've got videos, this podcast, Stoppage Time TV, from 1819 saying this is unbelievable. This goalkeeper is overrated.
De Gea is overrated.
Some may not like it, some may like it. You know what I mean? De Gea, as I said, he's like Marmite. Some love him, some are still, they put in crazy pressure on the next goalkeeper because of what De Gea used to do. For me, De Gea has been washed and it's time for him to go. If Man United want to start fresh, start a new future, players like De Gea, who's been seriously part of our worst ever period, they need to go. Yeah, I mean, they really need to go. So listen, guys, that's my opinion on it. David De Gea is not a Manchester United legend. My name's Culture Cams. That was FTBL Culture. Thank you so much for rocking with me this season. Make sure you follow me on the socials. Make sure you follow FTBL, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of those things. Make sure you follow on those things. Like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Manchester United need an overhaul. De Gea, thank you for your services. I'm Culture Cams. I'm out.